Bill Maher started this week by explaining how many ugly things happened after the Charlie Kirk assassination. And looking straight at the camera during real time, he exposed the disgusting behavior of celebrities and other people who were mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination. According to Maher, the line for anyone with a microphone, especially late-night hosts, should be obvious. Show basic humanity when someone is killed, even if you hated their politics the day before. And this is about basic decency. He insisted that free expression always has limits if it is about a person who died in violence. He tied the moment to a larger mood in Hollywood and in media. He kept his tone steady, but he pushed hard by calling their behavior unethical. He opened real time by saying the week felt ugly and that a lot of famous people failed a basic test. This was especially obvious because of the Emmy silence. The test was not about politics, it was about being human when someone dies. And it does not matter if he is conservative or Democrat. He said that people who mocked Kirk's death or justified it were gross, and he had no use for them. He treated that as a test that the industry failed. He also said he had no use for the people who turned the moment into a "we are at war." He drew the line in plain English so that anyone could measure up. And the line humiliated the celebrities who spend their lives acting like moral referees because they couldn't pass the easiest standard on the board. He moved quickly to the Emmys. The biggest awards room in the world said nothing about an assassination that happened just days before. He said a kind sentence would have been a normal human act, but the room stayed quiet. The reason? Well, according to him, was tribal fear. The crowd would have booed anyone who said one decent line because Kirk was on the wrong team. That's how he put it. They would have been booed off the stage. In other words, the culture that talks most about compassion froze at the first real moment that it mattered. That silence was the first place he humiliated them. He held up the mirror and showed how small the glitz looked next to a funeral. Now let's make the rule as clear as he did. After a murder, you say one humane sentence or you keep your mouth shut. If you mock the dead, you fail. If you turn it into team chants, you fail. If you pretend nothing happened because your publicist said don't touch it, you fail. He wasn't telling people to change their politics. He was telling celebrities to act like adults when a person is killed. He said, let's not debate about who's worse. Both sides do it now. That line mattered because it took away the favorite shield. Blame the other guy and go home. He refused the shield. He wanted a standard you can repeat. On social media, it got loud. Clips of Maher's monologue went viral because people are tired of the pretense. They saw a late-night host say out loud what millions of regular people felt. Mocking a murder is disgusting behavior, and the silence from people who preach compassion is embarrassing. The studio audience cheered at the exact spots that you would expect when he defended simple humanity and when he smashed the fake brave poses. That reaction mattered. It wasn't just Twitter noise, it was a live test of the room. The cheers said the world wants a rule that anyone can live by. He also called out the rhetoric machine that always tries to explain away violence with, "they said bad words first." He pushed back on the idea that awful words cause murders, and that a shooting is just the next step of trash talk. He said Americans do not shoot to win debates, and we should not excuse it. He kept his focus on behavior after the killing, not on assigning old blame like a scorecard. That shift humiliated another group of celebrities, those who hide under complex language to avoid a simple sentence of decency. He cut that move off at the knees. Then he returned to the Emmys to make the point sting. He said anyone who tried to say something kind would have been booed. If you work in media, you know why that stings. Because booing a sentence would expose the club's real rule. The tribe first, the person last. He used the award show as a case study of cowardice. He didn't need to name names. The room was the character. The culture was the villain. And the absence was the proof. He humiliated the entire A-list crowd by showing that the brightest room in entertainment went dim on the easiest moral task of the year. His tone stayed calm, but he was not soft. He said that people who mocked death or justified it are gross and has no use for them. He said people who answered with "we're at war" get the same answer. No use. This is how you know he's serious. He didn't offer an easy out or a poll-tested sentence. He didn't tell viewers to just blame the other side. He gave a rule that you can teach to a child. You do not laugh at a murder. You do not celebrate a killing. That's not censorship, that's just baseline decency. He then did what almost no celebrity does when the world is screaming. He read Charlie Kirk's words on free speech to his own audience. He said he disagreed with a lot of Kirk's positions, but he respected that in America, ugly speech, gross speech, and evil speech is still protected. He used that moment to separate argument from death. That separation is what the Emmys refused to do. It is also what the edgy influencers refused to do when they posted snarky memes about the murder. He showed respect for the person even while disagreeing with the politics. That respect is what humiliates the celebrities who could not find one decent sentence in a week of spotlight. He also addressed the anti-Trump rhetoric loop that treats politics like forever emergency. He said that loop ends up justifying anything. When everything is a 5-alarm fire, you stop seeing people as people. According to him, this is how you arrive at mobs that cheer the death of someone they hate. He told both sides to cool it and to keep standards even when they're angry. He called out the celebrity habit of using big moral words and then failing small moral tests. The small test is the real one. He kept bringing the conversation back to the same rule so no one could wiggle out. Now here's the new piece that he put on the table, and it matters because it's a clean fix. He proposed a one-time decency rule for anyone with a microphone. Print it, tape it to the mic, put it in a card in your jacket. The line is simple. We condemn the killing, full stop. He said award shows, talk shows, and social media stars can adopt it today. No committee, no PR tour. You say the sentence, you pass the test. You refuse, you expose yourself. He even challenged any A-list name to come onto his show and read that one line out loud. If you claim compassion, prove it in one sentence when it costs you 5 seconds. This one-line rule changes everything because it is measurable. So the next time a red carpet rolls out 2 days after an assassination, we don't have to guess what decency looks like. We have one sentence to listen for. If the host says it, good. If the room boos, the world sees it. If influencers make jokes instead, the world hears it. You won't need to argue online for days. The test will grade itself in real time. That's why a simple rule beats 1,000 think pieces. He also reminded viewers why talking to opponents matters more than ever. He said he had hosted people like Charlie Kirk before and took heat for it, but he would rather talk across the divide than live in small rooms that only clap for themselves. Conversation cools the temperature. It treats people as people again. It breaks the theater that celebrities live in. That is why Hollywood hated his message. He refused the script where you only perform for your own side. He chose the harder path. Speak plainly, accept the boos if they come, and act like an adult when the world is on fire.